Theresa again. Thank you for joining me today. Well, today I thought I'd take another look at a Father's Day card. I got a new stamp set. It is the Food and Memories stamp set that has so many different things for outdoors type folks as well as for cooks, and my husband is a cook, loves to cook. So I started with this card, Carbadium card, and thought that would be perfect for him for Father's Day, but I decided I needed to make a couple more because I do have some more fathers, son-in-laws. So I'm going to be making those for the other folks in our family that do the cooking as well as for the nursing home. But I love this stamp because it has so many different varieties of things, like the food truck. My husband would open a food truck if he could make it work. So that's what we're going to be doing here today. We're going to basically make a Father's Day card with this stamp set, and I'm excited. I can't wait to show you. So let's get to crafting. So here are some of the basic supplies you'll need. I'll try to rattle off the measurements for you as I go. I've got them all cut up and ready to go, because I was trying to decide if I only had just enough of this Daisy Meadow paper. So, and I'm running out of the wood grain paper because I'm using it up, but which is fantastic because I've almost used the entire set with just cards. So what I did is and then of course here's the Cardstock, which is the white Daisy cardstock, and this is the set with the cards and envelopes. So I'll rattle them off for you. If I happen to miss one, then what we'll do is I'll put it in the description for you. This is the 4 by 5 1/4. That's the wood grain. Second, I have this. I'm not sure which this is. This is basically from my stash. The next what we'll do is we'll put this layer on, which is another round of the wood grain. So that's that. And that this is 3 1/2 by 4 1/2. This is 1 1/4 by 3 1/4. This is left over from the Daisy Meadows scrapbooking kit, actually, and it's 2 1/2 by 4 1/2. This little Cardstock, just something I had in my stash, that's 2 by 3. And this is the stamp from the stamp set, and it is 1 3/4 by 2 3/4. Obviously these are just other supplies that you'll need, but there's also one other thing which I will grab, and it is some distressed oxide. It's actually the little refill container, because what we're going to do is we're going to put it on a stamp block. I'll grab that. We'll actually put it around some of these white edges to kind of give it that rustic, manly kind of look. So I've done this in my previous video for Father's Day where I've got the boot and I've done a little bit there, but I'll do that again here to make this a little bit more, again, more rustic and manly. So I'm going to go ahead and get the wood grain attached to the base. We'll start there today. Next, I'm going to take some of this old paper and I'm going to grab it, and I'm actually going to take just a little bit of it, put it on my block. It does not require a lot. So I've got a little tab put on here so I know that these are my dark brown colors. It's not very specific because it doesn't matter if it's that specific or not. But I'm going to go ahead and get that brushed look that I'm looking for. Usually dilute it, so we're going to take a scrap piece of paper and see what that looks like. Perfect. That's what I'm looking for. So we'll start with this. And we'll get a little bit around the edges. Again, you don't have to use a lot. And I'm kind of making it look pretty messy, because if you think of, my husband is really messy in the kitchen. Anybody who's been to my house knows that he's very, very, very messy. So we're going to make this kind of a messy look. And that'll be over here. It does take a few seconds to dry. We're going ahead and we're going to go ahead and get this wood taken care of. This one I'm going to be a little bit harder on because I want it to show up. It's right next to that brown, so I want it to show up in the wood. Actually, this is brick. So we're going to take this brick paper, ink it up really good. Against this wood grain paper. Okay, we're going to try to put this together a little bit. It's a little bit on the wet side, so we have to be very careful. I apologize for my voice. Been a lot of rain, so it's activated my allergies. I'm going to move it up just a little bit because we want enough room down here to put our saying in there. If we don't have enough room, we'll just put it in the inside of the card. And we'll put these other items together while we're waiting on it. This I'm going to pop up a little bit. Using my fun foam. Usually can't see the foam, so it doesn't matter what color I use. I just had that purple left over from making another card, one of the cards I made for Mother's Day. So we'll let that dry. Now before we get started, what I've done is I've taken a scrap piece of paper, this is almond, and I'm actually going to build my saying with words out of here. I want it to say made with love, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the made from here, with from here, and love from here, and I'm going to put it together, and that's going to be my sentiment. This stamp set does include dies, so it would be really easy to knock out a bunch of these cards, and you wouldn't have to do all this cutting. I just had these available because I'd already stamped several of them to take a look and see how I wanted to use them. But you can see, you could have done the fork and spoon here. Next, what I'll do is as usual, I line it up on my verse mat. Basically, I'm just looking at that sentiment, making sure it's straight. I'll add it to my block. I'll then ink it up. And a lot of times in the videos you will see that I have to test out the stamp, and I'm doing that here. And then I'll add the sentiment. Here you go. So now we're going to attach this piece, which I am going to pop it up with some 3D tape so that it's over, but I do want it a little bit over to the side because my plan is to take the sentiment and pop it up, and then I'm going to I actually have some In This Together dots that I purchased from Close to My Heart. I'm actually going to take the Bluebell and I'm going to put those because it matches really well with this Daisy Meadow leftover, and I'll put it over here to the side, similar to the other card, and then this card will be ready to go. And then, of course, I'll add the sentiment to the actual card. So, as I put this together, I realized I wanted a little bit of a variance between, a little more even than what I put on there. So I added some faux stitching onto the sides here of that white brick that we had actually put a little bit of that scattered straw look on. So I added that, and I feel like I like this card a lot better. If you remember, this is the card that I was going by, and this is off of the Card Sketch WH178. So this has these are the exact measurements from that sketch, and this one was modified based on the supplies I need, because this was basically my craft your stash. But if I were to make a decision, this one I definitely like the best. I like it because I like the variations of the colors a little bit better, but this is cute too, and I know that the person I give it to will love it just as much. So thank you again for joining me today. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and the notification button so you can see new videos as they come in. I appreciate you being with me today. More videos coming out soon. Until next time, have a great day.